Hello, my friends. Welcome to another 10-minute topic. Today we're talking about something that has been on my mind, like kind of on and off a lot. And the topic is, I'm just calling it owed nothing. That's what we're calling it. Maybe I'll change my mind somewhere along the way, but that's what I've committed to at the moment. So anyhow, here's the backstory of this topic. As you may or may not know, I make a lot of content for TikTok specifically, and then I put it on all the other platforms as well. But I do mostly comedic skits, satire, parody, just flat out comedy. And the content does pretty well. Now, I kind of hate this part of the conversation here because it sounds like humble bragging. And I guess it technically is, and that's probably why it makes me so uncomfortable, but I have to do it to get the point across. So forgive me, okay? The content does really well, particularly when I do political stuff. And what happens a lot, and I'm not making up. You can scroll through the comments if you want to waste your time. But what happens a lot, people will comment things like, oh, SNL is going to be calling any day for you, or you should be on SNL, or why don't you have your own show? How come you don't have a bigger following? Like, people will comment these things. See, that sounds like such humble bragging. I literally want to punch myself right now, but I have to explain this to get to my point. Okay. I'm like so uncomfortable right now. So I get these comments a lot, and absolutely my ego loves it. You know, it really enjoys it, but it also really gets in my head in a bad way, because you see enough of comments like that and you start going, well, wait a minute, why isn't nobody knocking on my door? Because nobody's knocking on my door, guys. Zero. No one is knocking on my door like this many. It's not happening. I'm not making any money off of the content. A little bit. I mean, you make like scraps over on TikTok, you know, for views and stuff like that. And let me just take this important pause for a second and say, I am so incredibly grateful. This is not a complaint in any way. Okay. I'm not complaining. I am so grateful that one, anybody takes the time to actually watch my videos. Two, that they take the time to even like my videos or share them or comment on them. Any of those things. I am so deeply, truly grateful that anyone would take time out of their day to do that. So if that's all that there is, well, we're going to get to that point. That's the point we're kind of getting to. I just spoiled it. Spoiler. I already got to the point. Anyhow, we're just going to pretend that I didn't. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Okay. We're skipping right over it. Yes, I know I could just edit it out, but we're keeping it in, whatever. I was getting in my head, or I have been getting in my head about this, saying, you know, why is nothing happening? Like, why are none of these, networks or channels or whatever platforms reaching out to me saying, hey, we need you on our platform. We need you to be on our show. We need you to do this. We want you. And I get further in my head. I'm like, well, is it because because maybe my appearance, there's something off-putting about me. Maybe it's my voice. Maybe it's my delivery. Maybe I'm just not that good and people are just blowing smoke up my ass because they feel bad for me. I don't know. This is what happens when you get in your own head. And you're in a vacuum with all of these things too. Like I sit here, it looks like I'm looking at you because I'm looking at the camera, right? You think I'm talking like directly to you, which I am. I'm talking to you. But from my end of it, I am looking at a little camera, a little camera lens. And then every so often I glance down, like I'm doing right now, at myself to make sure I'm not making a stupid face, which I definitely do, but that's okay. So you just live in this vacuum of, I have no idea what the world, none of us do, of course, what the world is thinking or seeing or perceiving about me. I only get the feedback that I get, which is sometimes actually overwhelmingly and humblingly, I don't know if that's a word, but it is now, positive and encouraging. And then of course, then there's, the negative ones and people that just don't like me because of what I represent or what I look like or what I sound like or any of the things, whatever reasons they don't like me for, they make sure that they let me know that they don't. totally fine. And ironically, I'm better at tuning that stuff out than I am the positive stuff. Is that weird? That's weird, isn't it? So yeah, so I get in my head about this, like what's wrong with me? Why am I not more successful at this? Shouldn't I be further along than I am? Shouldn't I be making a living at this? Because that was basically the goal, you know. It would be wonderful. Like really, my dream goal. Honestly, here's my dream goal. I'm going to tell you, I'm share with you my dream goal. It's probably very similar to most people's goals, really, in aspects. My goal with doing all of this stuff was for my husband to be able to retire, for me to be the breadwinner, doing what I love, and us being able to retire to Florida. And I would do this from Florida, from our nice little home. Like if I could, we have a, it's not a big house. So if I could just pick up our house and move it to Florida, that would be perfect for me. I don't need anything big. Like this is how I like rationalize things in my head. I'm like, listen, I'm not asking for anything big. Like I don't want a mansion, and I don't need like all kinds of stuff. I don't need a private jet or any of that stuff. And I don't actually want to be famous. I want to be successful. Right. But for me, I'm already successful in my personal life. Like personal life is great. So if all of this did actually go away, I would be fine. It is what it is. So these are the things that I say in my head. These are the conversations I have with myself. Like, I'm not looking for a lot. I don't want anything crazy. I don't need to be like famous or anything like that. I just want to make a living. I just want to make a living at doing what I enjoy doing, a nice, steady thing so that my husband can retire. I'll be the breadwinner for once, and we can live where I want to live, which of course is in my beautiful state of Florida. And that's it. Like, that's all I want. Very, very minimal stuff. So, of course, being in my own head, I'm like, why is it not happening? Like, why? Why? And then there's this other side of me, this rational side. Maybe it's the side from above that says, listen, first of all, settle down. There are people that have been working their entire lives nonstop to achieve what I've already achieved, what I've already done in a relatively short period of time, essentially by myself, without like a team working with me, without having an advisor or a manager or any of that stuff, because I don't have any of those things. I don't have management. I don't have an assistant. I don't have PR. I don't have any of those things. It's a one-woman show, and that's it, which is fine, because I guess it turns out I'm kind of a control freak. So, it is what it is. Long story long, I'm coming to the point finally. I really have, with help with sitting with God and listening and just connecting with my faith and all of those amazing things, I am coming to this peaceful place with it of, hang on, girl, you are owed nothing. Owed nothing. Just because I put content out, just about every single day, multiple times a day, just because I devote myself to this and do all these things, I'm not owed anything. This isn't a guarantee. Of course, it's not a guarantee, you silly goose. Come on now. And the other, probably even more important understanding I've come to is that God's timing is always perfect. And the first time that I heard that, I'm getting teary again. Guys, you understand this now already, right? Like every time we talk about God, I'm going to get teary. I'm going to get emotional because it's so powerful. So that was the phrase. Maybe that's actually going to be the title of this episode. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out when we post it. Okay. It was those words that put everything in its right perspective. As soon as I heard those words, God's timing is always perfect. So if these things haven't happened for me, if I have not been picked up by SNL, which I don't really want to be on SNL. So guys, don't actually call. I don't want to be on SNL. If somebody wants to create a conservative version of that, conservative Christian, whatever, of SNL, I'm on board for that, but I'm not interested in anything that Hollyweird is involved in. It's just a big no thanks. So I already know that. Yes, I know I would be like, oh, you want to be successful in this field. So why are you cutting off, like 90% of it and just giving yourself access to it? Because that's the only part I'm comfortable with. It's the only lane I want to be in. And I'm adamant about that. So I know what I know. I know what I want and what I don't want. So there we go. But anyhow, God's timing is always perfect. And if that means that the timing is not now for me to find a financial success with what I do, then it's not the right time. It may never be the right time. It may never happen. And I am actually at a place where I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I believe without a doubt that God knows what's best for me, what's best for my family, what's best for my life. And if he's not opening that door for me, then it's simply the door that I'm not meant to go through. So once you understand that God doesn't open doors that aren't meant for you, everything just becomes sweeter. Like it just becomes better. And you worry less, you stress less, and you just sit back and say, that's okay. It's nothing against me. It's actually something for me. It's God. It's not the universe working against me. It is the universe working for me. So whatever all of this means, wherever all of this, what we're doing here, what I'm doing here, wherever this goes or doesn't go, I've decided to be at peace with it and content with it because I am actually very, very proud of how much I was able to do. And when I say I've done it on my own, I actually feel guilty when I say that because I know I'm not on my own. I do understand that. What I mean is like in the physical, earthly sense, like I don't have a team around me. I just want to kind of clarify. So if we can kind of relate this back to you so that there's some purpose in it for you as well to hear this, I would say if you are sitting in the same place that I had been sitting in of wondering why certain things weren't happening for me, even though I was doing all of the things, there's your answer. There's your reason, in my opinion. So I hope that helps you if you are struggling with those same circular thoughts. And that's it. That's it for this topic. We will see you next time. Take care.
Family, if you're looking for the perfect gift for the reader in your life, why not check out one of my books? They're all available on Amazon and most major online book retailers, as well as elsakurt.com.